La propia víctima. Uy, disfruta del chocolate, Damon.
A little pot plant. Well,
It's the only plant in the entire room.
the outline of Freya fell. There's a single patch of blood. No real sign.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the candle. So she was probably...
Let's check the case file again. The whole room is a
Yeah,
strange...
there might be a reason for that.
Sí, lo que tío dice que nos falta algo ahí. Ahora vamos a terminar de usar todos los todos. Uno me dará alguna pista extra. Me siguen faltando la combinación de la carta, ¿no? Pero bueno, en realidad no, porque Fifi está abierto.
So there are two families living in Tangle Tower?
Mm-hmm. 3 pointers and 5 fellows.
¿Dónde, Javi?
4 fellows.
What's the connection between them?
Revita
There
ese
isn't
fin.
one. Not really. It was all built by the Remington family. Flora is a Remington, originally. So was Primrose, my mother. She married into the Pointers, and Flora married into the Fellows.
So the fellows and the pointers own the house now?
Flora owns the house. Depending on who you ask, that means her husband Felix owns it too.
What about your father?
His claim over the house kind of fell apart after my mother left.
Where's your mother now?
No idea. There's something
Vale,
I
él tiene
noticed
motivos para matar
about Freya's knife
a Fifi,
wound.
no a Freya.
Hit me.
From what we could tell, the blade went in at an exact right angle, perpendicular to Freya's body. And there's only one small pool of blood. Nothing on Freya's hands, or anywhere else. The whole thing is just a little too... peaceful. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long piece.
Right. So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
El amarillo.
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do. Why is the
El
glass
amarillo no se
cracked
usó.
down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff. Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
Is that supposed to be Flora?
Possibly?
Oh. How nice. I think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes. That belongs to Flora, I think.
Vaya, la única que tiene
Oh,
razón
you've been
sobre
to
el
the
libro de Ares.
greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No? Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think? Was that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her privacy.
I thought you
Higa.
and Fifi were close friends.
Yeah, we are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure she'd tell you if you asked.
Oh, she would. She'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Me
Why's
faltan
that?
dos ítems
It's
fijo,
quiet.
vamos, estoy convencida.
I think it's kinda cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. but I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective. Those petals,
What about them?
it's nothing. They're just unusual. Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Ah, right.
¿Estás enamorada de Fitz?
You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Pero-
Why?
For fun, obviously. How sweet.
Aquí dices.
It's a big
There are
plant.
weeds in there.
It's an aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing living in it anymore.
It's not locked. A big...
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner? This one has a big P.
That's P...
How very P-ceptive.
It's a little glass...
I think it's
Come again?
Might have been for keeping insects.
It's probably quite impressive. To a visitor, fresh eyes and all that.
Not to you.
Try living in it for 20 years. The sheen wears off. If it wasn't for my fits, I'd have little reason to stay.
What about inheritance? You're the next oldest pointer after your uncle, aren't you?
Well, thank you very much for phrasing it like that. But no, any money left in the Pointer family will pass down directly to Poppy.
Is that fair?
I couldn't care less, to be perfectly honest. Finally! I get to see a detective's case file.
That's a very specific thing to be excited about.
Only last week I asked that miserable
Hello,
hawkshaw
shit.
woman if I could see her case notes.
I'm guessing she said no.
Would have been much more polite if she had just said no.
I
Instead,
know,
she was
this
quite rude to me. Accused me of being, what was it? A shallow sensationalist. Poppy's gramophone. She's had it for a long time. As a young child, she'd call it her mama phone, on account of it belonging to her mother.
That's
Hijo de
cute.
puta.
Oh yes, adorable.
Eres una zorra.
Wow. Terrible.
You recognize it?
The color scheme. 3 different pinks. Obscene. I know a lot of people rather like this painting, but it's a little much for me. I find it overbearing. And for some reason, it makes me feel bad for Freya. I think she was more troubled than we knew. Freya was very talented, even at that age.
Do you know how old this photo is?
Not sure. Must be a couple of years at least. Sometime before Fiona settled on her current style. If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. A bit vain to carve wooden figurines of oneself, isn't it?
Sabe que es un pájaro.
Freya doesn't take very good care of her paints, does she? But then she was always rather bohemian, had her own priorities. Oh, that's rather sad. Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess, too.
Excellent. I don't know what that is. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. I can't decide what's worse. How she looks here, or how she looks now.
Do you know who this
Hija de
is?
puta.
In the photo?
Oh, absolutely no idea.
Ya, ya.
Looks a little simple for Poppy, doesn't it? I thought she was a grade 12 or something.
I didn't know there were that many grades.
I'm sure they invented some new ones just for her. Lovely. It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad.
¿Sabe algo del pájaro?
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby
¿Sabe
little
algo del
things like
pájaro?
this.
Noted.
I don't like mirrors. They still.
How do you get your hair so symmetrical without using a mirror?
I do by weight. I can feel if one side is heavier than the other.
Vale, me falta el señor y... Si el señor no me da pistas, voy perdida. Falta un ítem. O dos.
It's tidier than my desk. The notebook is untouched.
So? Even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
So which one is Tangle Tower?
What's that?
There are 2 towers, right? Flora's tower and your astronomy tower.
Neither? Truly, I have no idea. You'd have to ask Flora.
She named the house?
The whole thing is a result of her squabbling with her family.
With Felix, you mean? Her husband?
No, her brother and sister, and her father. The Remington family was a rather tumultuous little unit, you see. I don't think Flora has spoken with any of them in over a decade. Not exactly a wealth of information, is it?
It's enough.
I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends. Here's a thought. Do you suppose the paintbrush could be the murder weapon?
Por supuesto,
After all,
sí.
it was found at the scene, right next to Freya's body.
I guess it's possible.
Is this important?
Possibly.
This is supposed to be Felix, is it?
I think so.
I see he's afforded himself considerable artistic license. This looks a little rushed, even by Felix's standards.
At least he tried.
Yes, I suppose it's good for the old fellow to have a hobby. Keeps his mind from decaying, you know. Poppy's 2 closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there.
Pa' que parece inocente es Fifi, no Freya.
Freya was
Vale,
well
Freya ahí
acquainted
parece que
with
se
the
va a comer el
abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put. I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears.
Whenever I've seen him, yes. Oh, my. This is the first piece that Primrose ever learnt on the piano. Primrose, that is Poppy's mother. She passed it down to Poppy when she started teaching her how to play.
Poppy's piano teacher was her
Ah,
mother.
Of course. Warms my heart to know that after everything, Poppy still has it up on her wall. Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary. I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue.
Gilipollas.
That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But then, aren't we all trapped in a cage? Well now, that is most quite possibly none of yours either. What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's? It's been a while since I've seen it.
Expediente del caso historiador de Tangle Tower. Ojo, Lauji, muchísimas gracias por esa pedazo de race. Bienvenidos seáis todos. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Buenas, Lauji. Anosaterra, buenas, ¿qué tal? Viva Lauji, es un fenómeno, es un crack.
Spooky.
Lauji es un crack.
What do you think it's for?
I think it's to scare away detectives.
Ah, pues.
Is it working?
No. It's a statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish
¿Qué
monster.
tal? ¿Qué has estado haciendo hoy? ¿Acuarela? ¿Qué has pintado?
Playing a harp.
Playing a harp. Hang on a second. This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
Let's come.
Ojo.
It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Algo hace. Efectivamente. Hemos encontrado otro ítem. Vale, es que... Justo ha dicho Javi lo de que aquí falta algo. Aquí hay un acuario con agua. El pozo este decía que no tenía fondo y es como... ¿Y si se puede drenar? ¿Sabes? Una torre en ruinas. Bueno, realmente lo interesante era el cielo. Imagino que el cielo por la mezcla de colores, ¿no? Wait, no sospechabas hasta que lo dije. La verdad que no me había fijado. Te voy a decir. No lo voy a negar. No me había fijado.
Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no, then.
It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
Vale.
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the
¿Tendrá algo
details.
que ver con los bichos con vento? Tenemos uno con una bocina, otro con un laúd, esta con el arpa. No me ha parecido ver otra. ¿Y qué tal ha quedado la torre en ruinas? La verdad es que te sacas unos dibujos en acuarela flipantes.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah, weird.
¿Cómo que weird? ¡La puta! Dime cosas.
I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though.
La acuarela se va al cajón de bueno, no la tiro, pero no digas eso, Lauji. Yo todos los dibujos que te he visto hacer últimamente, desde que haces un día de acuarela, me parecen increíbles. Todos ellos.
A very old statue indeed. I'd recommend you leave it well alone. The poor fellow's in bad enough shape as it is.
Esta no me va a decir.
Rather ugly, isn't it, as far as statues go? Years of wind and rain have not been kind to it either.
Do you know what it is? The creature, I mean.
It's connected to the Remington family history in some way, but I can't recall.
The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are?
Vale, no me dais
A
ayuda.
chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Gracias por el Urki Lauji. No voy a apuntar esto. Voy a hacer el truco de Coto. Voy a coger el paint y lo voy a hacer. Un recorte al live. De cuca, sí. Truco de cuca. Cierto, de Coto, de cuca.
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
No me ha ocurrido hasta ahora darle a la pizarra. Soy un poco gilipollas.
What's that big book?
Looks like something.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology. Boxes of stuff.
Fifi's got something pinned
What
up.
is all this? It's a drawing of Penny.
Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
Is Fifi...
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
Sí, pero que no entiendo. Es que no entiendo este puzzle. No sé de dónde coño sale. ¿Para qué? No entiendo este puzzle.
Is Fifi...
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
Pero esto es lo del ¿cómo se llama? Lo de la pizarra.
Did you notice who isn't?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. Stuff...
You gonna rummage through the trash?
No.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
That's a whole lot of books. That's a whole lot of books. That's a whole lot of books.
Homemade posters. This one's about the Python.
I've not heard of that band. Are they?
Homemade posters. This one's about the.
I've not heard of that band. Pretty.
We're supposed to be looking.
And a simple trick, but it really. Scientific, probably. I'll openly admit I have no
boxes of stuff.
¿Aquí? ¿O abajo? ¿Aquí o fuera? Fuera.
Huh, there's a heart. I didn't know people actually.
PPFF. Oh.
What?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Tangle.
Twir. Oh.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Twir.
Little bird.
How do you know they're for birds?
Looks like someone tried to chop.
Can you
it down.
blame them? Do you think he'll start?
No, I think a path leading towards the stones.
It's a bandstand.
Bit small for a bandstand.
It's a one-man bandstand.
It's full of the same.
Any fish in there?
Not a single. Although there is some.
It's a cassette tape. Or it used to be.
Vale. Eso lo tenemos.
Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think no. It's a bird bath. Just
The
ring.
bird seems.
They're even.
Please don't do that.
Do you
Maybe
think?
let's wave just in case.
Hay algo que he tocado en algún lado que no he sacado, ¿no? No, la cinta esa de cassette ya es la que teníamos.
That bed.
Does it feel warm over?
No, you're right.
It's not coming from the bed.
That bed.
Does it feel?
No, you're right.
It's not coming from the bed.
Traveling cases.
Empty. All of them.
That bed. It's like.
Does it feel warm over here? Or is
No, you're right. Maybe.
It's not coming from the bed. It's coming from the wall.
That bed. It's like.
Does it
No,
feel?
you're
It's
right.
not coming from the bed.
That bed. It's like something from a fairy tale.
Es lo que has tocado antes
Does
y
it
que no has
feel
vuelto a
warm?
tocar.
No, you're
It's
right.
not coming from the bed.
Pues a ver, si he tocado tantas cosas. Dime dónde, por lo menos. ¿Por qué no le pego una hostia a la pared ya? No, eso quiero saber yo. Nota calor en la pared. ¿Cuánto hay algo en la pared?